I've been talking to this with some friends lately, and yes, here we are. The Kek Pepe power force archetype, chaos entity, whatever you want to call it, is now dead and is profane. To continue to summon it will only result in demonic possession. You can already see the early stages of a demonic possession already happening within certain individuals who are continuing to push the Kek thing as if it's still relevant. They're basically now transforming into hardcore neo-Nazis, anti-Semites, and all-around general Jew haters, and women haters as well. I've noticed that's a common thing also. This is directly due to the fact that the archetype has no power anymore. Remember, Kek initially manifested as a means to dispense of Hillary Clinton in order to stop her from becoming US president and starting World War III, in particular a nuclear war with Russia, which she craved in every cell of her body from the time she's been a child. Her manifestation upon this plan was to bring destruction in the form of nuclear and atomic fire upon the West by creating a war with Russia. This didn't happen, and that's why you have all the meat golems and NPCs in society. They're all in an awful state because she lost. They had a death wish. They wished to be slaughtered by Hillary Clinton in this atomic fire so they wouldn't have to live out the rest of their days as the entities and the miserable creatures they are now. Having said that, the other side, who successfully invoked Kek Pepe, have to maintain this vigilance. Once a power force, no matter how it's used, is over, it becomes profane. And to continually summon this power force, one also becomes profane. I'll give you an example of this. During World War II, the United States propaganda machine and Disney got together to make Donald Duck basically a anti-Hitler, anti-Japanese imperial empire. The Kek or Pepe of its time, that's exactly what was going on there. And it was used very successfully. After the war ended, Donald Duck really is not a force in popular culture. People just remember him as a duck that makes a funny noise, but they don't have any kind of relationship to Donald Duck. He's not a power force anymore. After World War II, the United States stopped summoning him. The war was over, and whoever has the occultic mindset within the propaganda services of the USA were smart enough to know that the power force archetype of Donald Duck had served its purpose as a propaganda machine. This was chaos before there was chaos, and basically put it to sleep. To have continued to summon it would have caused tremendous social and other problems within the United States, especially during the 1950s when a rebuilding period was needed. Those of you who have been summoning Kek, remember he's not a god, a full power force, but he is a demon now because he's dead. So to continue to invoke him, you're invoking a demonic force which will eventually possess anyone who does it. And I can guarantee you, those of you who are still watching people on your social media or posting Pepe or Kek memes, they're becoming increasingly anti-Semitic, increasingly anti-black, and increasingly profane as the individual who continues to summon Pepe, Kek, themselves become profane. And also, you should remove these people from your social media because they can also infect you. They really can. Now, what do we do this time of year? Well, we're between, or this time in general. Well, remember, it's like an eclipse. The moon is now past in front of the sun, and we're at the period of totality, very similar to the Terminator that moves across the earth between day and night. We're in that moment now. We're waiting for new power forces and new archetypes to arrive along and come along. Basically, the gods at the moment are people like Donald Trump. Now, I know some of you are losing your minds when you hear that. Donald Trump and the likes of Putin are now power forces, so they're really a lot closer to gods than human beings right now. I know this sounds insane, but that's really, you don't pick a god because you think you're supposed to love them. You pick a god because they have incredible power and they're dominating the processes of consciousness and cognition. Remember that. He is the Black Knight. He is the Luciferian attenuation that we need for the moment. We do not have to continually invoke dead gods in order to keep them in power. This process is running by itself. Now this time of year, a good time I always do is to invoke raven goddesses, and my particular favourite one for the beginning of November is Marzana, the Slavic goddess of death, chaos and rebirth. Basically the same archetype as the Hellenic deity of Hecate. The archetype is also not dissimilar to Kali of the Vedics and the Morriganna of the Irish mythological tradition. Know her, respect her, embrace her obliteration of everything you thought was permanent. Only in the rubble of destructive forces can you start with a clean slate. Pepe is dead. We wait in the shadows while Marazana looks upon us.